Uh-oh.
Hold on. It swapped me. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Now that I've talked through that entire amazing spiel,
Can you hear me now?
OBS swapped my mic, so I think they couldn't hear me.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Well, hello.
So, hello everybody. I'm Derek. I am the creative director of Queers and Spears here. Um, Let me start over by saying what we are doing tonight or this morning, this time zone. Um, we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders in an amazing 27-hour charity raid train that started with Just the Human and actually, funnily enough, will end here on Queers and Spears. So you'll see me two more times in this 27 hours because I'm wild and I make decisions. Um, but Doctors Without Borders is an amazing organization that helps in, I think if I'm not mistaken, I saw Jess say 70 different countries. That's
Cool.
a lot of countries. But right now, our charity is focusing on Palestinian aid for the horrors that are happening over in Gaza. Um, Goes quite along with what Queers and Spears stands for. We stand for the freedom of all oppressed people. Um, so that's what we're here to do. We're gonna fuck some shit up in Godkiller. Um, we have a donation goal of $100, which I think we can hit with no issue. There are some milestones for stuff to happen if we do hit stuff. But really quick, let me go over our little fun incentives that we have for you guys
Uh-oh.
that my God Killer has no clue about.
Oh no,
This
I
is
haven't
his
heard any of
first.
these.
Nope, this is his first time learning about them. So for $5, if you donate $5 to this cause, in this game we roll 2d6 and add a modifier based on like some stuff that is questioned. You for $5 can add +1 to a roll that my God Killer makes, so you can help him either get out of a fail or go in to an overkill. uh
Thank you.
yeah, obviously it's great. For $10 you can spawn an NPC. Either you can write the NPC you have in there or force me to make my brain hamster work and create an NPC on the spot, which I've been awake for a while now, guys, so that'll be fun. For $15 you can give a premonition or a warning, which if you donate this tier, it forces me to give our God Killer something to help them. Obviously I've been a benevolent god here in these incentives so far.
Mm-mm.
That's
So
all
far.
about to change.
Okay.
For $20 you can spawn an adversary. Either you can write this adversary up or again force my brain hamster to run around in its wheel. For $25 you can clear strain. So strain is our health slash like pain mechanic in this game. Which if there's only 5 of them, if our God Killer gets 5, that forces a choice and a move to be made. Which if you like our God Killer, which I'm sure you will, he's great. You can clear a strain when he earns them. For $30 you can talk to a god. If you want our 5 minutes in, our God Killer to talk to a god, $30. I'll do it. One of our one of our 5 deities that are in this world will appear and talk to our God Killer. You can either decide whether they're a friend or a foe in that moment, or you can let me decide and be my friend. For $40, this one is a bit mean, and for those who want to be mean and help me, you can make our lovely God Killer suffer a strain.
Oh wow. Okay.
I made this one expensive because it is our healing and
Sure.
pain mechanic, but don't worry, you cannot suffer your 5th strain by using this donation. That is one thing I have made clear to myself in a rule. Your 5th strain will only ever be suffered by my hand.
That's good. That's good.
For $50, our highest amount. Usually these are awarded through killing or sparing gods. But for $50, you can award our Godkiller a power for them to use.
Ooh, some extra divinity.
So that is the power that you all hold in this one shot, the Edge of Valor. So now that we've gone over the fun bits, the serious business bits, let me introduce myself fully. I'm Derek. I will be playing God and everything and everywhere and everyone tonight. And I'll tell you where you can find me other than here on this channel at the end, when we see what happens to our Godkiller and who they become. Because ultimately, Godkiller is a story of transformation. Whether that be good or bad. And I will hand it off to my lovely Godkiller to introduce himself.
Hi everyone, I'm Krifu Bernal. My pronouns are he, him, but today I am playing Darialis, an elfin mage whose pronouns are he, they. And I'll describe a little bit about what Darialis looks like and who they are once we properly jump in.
All right. So, higher volume on Krifu. Absolutely.
Cool.
I will
Test. Higher volume on Krifu.
Alrighty. There we go. I also lowered the music a little bit because it was a little high. So, where we begin. It is 20 years before the story of Darialis begins. In a place that most of the mortals you know and you live with and you love and adore don't ever get to see. High above the clouds of your beloved world is a palace. That's what we'll call it. For it is not yet a grave. Our lovely leader of the gods, known as the Lantern, the god of magic, shines a bright smile down upon his twin and compatriots of the Pantheon. No. You all seem to have an issue with the decree that I've made of none of you hunting mortals for your own gain again. Why is that such an issue? The first to stand up and say something to the Lantern is their beloved brother. The man who looks so much like our beloved Lantern, our beloved king of the gods, smiles, though this smile is not one of love and adoration. It is Cheshire. It is a mask. Brother, I do not understand why you must stop the hunts. It is how we feed, how our divinity grows, how we become stronger. They procreate to create more of them. What happens when we stop culling the numbers? The script, that's what they've come to call you. It's quite an honest name, don't you think? Everything you say comes up as if you've written it and prepared it in a way that most cannot explain. I stop the hunts, for we must find a different way to feed our divinity. We were not put here on Valdaris to kill the people. We were here to cultivate them, help them move forward in ways that they would not be able to do without us. A smaller goddess, one that looks older, a scaled woman with beautiful obsidian black scales along her cheekbones, dark raven hair that falls far past her shoulders, in a beautiful corseted gown, stares at the two brothers who are going back and forth. The Everknown. She was here before, and she will be here after. The goddess of the moon and wave speaks up to interrupt these two. No, no, my darling sons. If you wouldn't mind shutting your mouths and worrying about filling your gullets, perhaps we could come to a consensus of what to do. Since one of you wants to extinct a behavior, and the other wants to be gluttonous, perhaps. I think that once a year, a mortal, one of high power, and perhaps a bit of divinity, shall be plucked from the tree that is Valdaris. And should their power be strong enough, they feed all of us. The hunts stop, and we still get to feed. Do we agree? Another goddess, one of perhaps the smallest stature of all of them, a hooded figure, no face, just two glowing eyes underneath the cowl, speaks up. I think that the Everknown is correct. I think that only one should suffer. It is hard bringing in multiple mortals at once. They do not know what is happening. And I wish to make their suffering less. It is my domain after all, life and death. The unknown speaks quite the truth. It is a lot of work for them to herd the souls of mortals as we hunt them. Well, if you'd like to offer someone else some more power to be able to help her, I could do it. A man of bright golden skin and dark curled tresses of hair speaks up as he kind of steps forward and takes the hand of the unknown. This is the Herald, the god of light and dark. But something that most didn't notice as these gods talk and these gods deliberate is one that is said to hold all of the promises and all of the honesty, had left the picture for a moment. Eyes not on him, he was able to sneak ever so closely to the head of the table that his brother sits at. And when he reaches it, a blade made of the first tree, the oldest and largest tree on Valdaris, sinks into the lantern's heart in front of all to see. This is how magic began to exit the world. And this is how Darialis became the last mage on Valdaris. For those that followed the lantern slowly began to be hunted by those that follow the script. And this is how the 5 truths became decrees in the world of Valdaris. The first truth: the lantern is extinguished. The second truth: the script has a secret. The third truth: the unknown has let a mortal know them. The fourth truth: the herald holds something they shouldn't. And the fifth and final truth: the ever known will always be. We fast forward 20 years from this extinguishing of a bright, bright soul to a tide pool that is far less light. Sorry, it is quite dark in there. Far less light than anywhere else in Valdaris, though Valdaris is a tree-covered planet. It is completely covered in forest. Even their seas are green from the amount of kelp forests that live in the waters. But at this tide pool, we find our Godkiller. Darialis, who are you? What can you do? And who are you waiting for in this moment?
Those are an interesting set of questions. Firstly, Darialis is a tall and slender elf. Quite pale. Does not get a lot of sunlight on his skin. With a mop of dark hair, sort of tousled a little haphazardly as he's walked down to this tide pool on the coast of a forest on Valdaris. He is adorned with simple monochromatic jewelry, onyx and silver being his preferred colors. He's wearing, I think, a simple pair of black slacks, trousers, and a white button-up blouse. And over that, his feather mantle, which was a gift from his mentor, who taught him magic, however long ago that was, before the lantern was extinguished. He's holding a pair of simple black leather shoes in his hands, and his trousers are rolled up above his ankles as he's walking down to this tide pool. Maybe finds a spot to sit and dangle his feet or his toes at the very least in the water, looking out over the ocean and thinking about his cousins who live under the seas in those same kelp forests. Who is Darialis? That is a question he has been asking himself for a while. Who have I become in this time the lantern's light has gone out? Darialis thinks to himself, I have been hiding. But has my comfort and protection left me stagnated? Is this truly what the lantern would have wanted for the world after his passing, for his greatest student? To sit like water trapped in a tide pool, so close to the sea, to its source, and unable to touch it, to master it, to ride through the waves and the currents, and transform. For water does not stay as it is. It cannot. But these are questions to which Darialis has no answer. And as his amber-colored eyes look out across the ocean, he waits. He waits for the ever-known, his draconic protector, the goddess he worships and pays tithe to now that his tutor has passed, and who he has a request for. So he waits.
You sit and watch the waves as they crash lightly. The moon sits high above the ocean as you wait for your venerable goddess. But there is a inkling of a knock inside the space inside your mind. Be careful. She may have had feelings and care for me in my life, but she is still the one that has outlived every other god that has been here.
That's a vague warning, teacher. All who knew you had feelings for you.
Yes. Just depending on what feelings they had.
I have been with the Everknown for some time. I know she values my presence here, and I doubt she will value my absence.
No, she won't. You are the last living trophy of me.
Is that why she values me so highly? Just because of you? Don't I have merit of my own?
Of course you do. I wouldn't have chose you as my student if you didn't. But being the first and being the last of us, she grows sentimental.
I hope not to be the last of us. That may be the case for the moment. But Valdarans live a long time.
As you do, since the hunts have stopped.
I fear that they will begin again now that you are gone, teacher.
Well, Then let's hope that what you are planning to do and asking for help with is successful.
I just worry what she will ask of me in return.
Well, my darling student, whatever it is, it will be painful.
I would expect no less from the ever-known.
Hmm. Though, she will be a great ally to have.
She needs to be.
I shall leave you be to wait for your lady.
I think she comes.
And as this conversation comes to a close inside of your head, you see it. The unmistakable ripples of a body moving underneath the waves. The water is dark, but her scales are a darkness that nobody can ever compete with, not even the Herald. First, her scales come up out of the water, and then you see her eyes and her snout as she crawls up into the tide pool and wraps around you protectively, like a mother would a child.
Or like a child would its toy, its prized possession. But Darialis does not say that out loud. He thinks it only, and instead raises his chin haughtily. He knows that she values his appearance.
Hmm.
And so he puts on a bit of a face. Greetings, my lady. 'Tis a fine evening and a moon you've blessed us with.
I try, though not all seem to enjoy it the way you do.
I enjoy all things that your presence has touched.
Is that so? I didn't keep you waiting long, did I?
One is only waiting when one has nothing to do, but I have been spending my time here enjoying the sights and sounds of the sea. For so long, I was locked away in tower halls, studying or venturing deep into the darkest glades of Valdara to find arcane components. For now, I am just grateful to be at peace and relaxed in what you provide me and what I am grateful for.
Flattery will get you everywhere, darling. Now, you do not wait at this pool unless you have a question.
My question for today is not one of seeking knowledge, but seeking permission, my lady. For 20 years now, I have been the prize of your hoard, and I have enjoyed the security and safety of being your possession. But your possession requests leave to take care of something that is most important to him.
What does this leave entail?
The time for vengeance is nigh.
The child of the lantern wishes to burn the script from beginning to end, does he?
Yes. His lies and betrayal brought darkness to this world. And through the fire of his death, I will bring back light.
And this is the moment that Darialis sees it. That draconic greed. As she leans in close, claw just under your chin, tilting your face up, and says, "Dear child of the lantern, what is it you offer me for this leave?"
I know not what else I have to offer you, my lady. You have my body, my form. And therefore you also have my freedom. This you have already. But you do not possess access to what's inside of me. Not just my knowledge and the things that the lantern passed down to me, but my emotions, my feelings, the secrets of my soul. Those are not yet yours.
No. That is something the unknown will claim when you die.
Perhaps. Although if it were tithed to you before my death, would it not be yours?
Yes, it would be. But I will need you to get my darling unknown's permission to have it.
If this is the deal we are striking, and that is a parameter that needs to be met, then I will do it.
I shall tell you of your journey, starting with your freedom. You shall find the unknown, get her permission for your soul, spirit, and knowledge to be mine upon your death. Then you shall find the herald. He holds what is needed to end the script. And then you will travel to your beloved teacher's grave. The seat that he sat upon when his twin brother stabbed him in the heart. He'll be waiting for you there, after all.
Darialis isn't so vulgar as to spit, but he makes a face, bitter. That the betrayer sits on my mentor's throne. It is a slap in the face to the justice of the cosmos. And with your permission and leave, and your aid and insight, I will set right this flaw in the fabric of reality.
I just wish to see if my favorite pet can do what he wants to do. See if he is strong enough to see that spark that his teacher saw.
Dariella smiles. And if I am not strong enough, then you will have your prize sooner than later.
Yes. Yes, I will.
And I will be comforted in my failure, knowing that a gracious and altruistic lady has taken me into her bosom.
And it will be nice to know that I hold the last of the magic in Valdaris.
For now, if my failure comes to pass. But if I succeed, I hope I will not be the last, the end of magic in this world. I hope to be the beginning if I succeed. You will have also played a hand in that, my lady.
Well, I will let you know one last thing. Your teacher was not just the god of magic. He had another domain. One that none know of. So perhaps in your travels, you can learn of it.
Understood. Darialis looks concerned. He studied under the lantern for decades, century or two, maybe. He's an elf. Who knows how old he actually is? But to learn that the king of the gods, the origin of all magic, had a second domain. That's news. Thank you, my lady. I will take my leave now, for my journey is long.
Go.
And Darialis stands, picks up his shoes as he tiptoes barefoot through the tide pools of this beach and back into the woods. For there he knows the secret ways between the trees that allows one to travel quickly across the surface of Valdara. And I think he knows where to go to visit the unknown.
Why don't we roll for it?
Let's get a roll. 45 minutes
Oh
into the
my god,
stream.
let's go. Our first roll. Let us roll about it. So, we are going to do a lovely... Sorry, moving things around my screen. I'm going to...
I'm looking at the moves page also.
Yeah. And you can offer a different move from the one that I offer. I am going to say that this will be a recognize a god.
Yes. Yeah. Add 1. So roll 2d6, add 1 for each true statement. You're in or near their domain. I don't think that's true yet. You're familiar with their gospel. I would argue that Darialis is familiar with all the gods' gospels.
Yes.
He's basically like a priest of magic.
Yes.
And it'd be bad if you didn't know. Well, it would be bad, but I do know precisely where I'm going. So I'll add 1 to this then.
You can add 2.
2?
Because you are always within her domain. She is the goddess of life and death.
Okay. Well, that's 10 plus 2 is 12.
Oh, an overkill on our... You know what, lovely Godkiller? Why don't you read what an overkill does for our lovely viewers?
On an overkill, you realize your divinity is actively trespassing against them, against the unknown right now. And the GM will say how.
You've been shrouded for years, being underneath the Everknown's ownership. That's how we'll put it at this point.
Yep. In her possession.
Yes,
is
in
how
her possession.
Darialis
Yeah.
would like to phrase it, but you weren't wrong with that first statement.
And since you've been given leave, that shroud is lessened. So within mere seconds of traveling between the trees, it is a moment's notice before a giant foot lands right in front of you. One of the giant creatures of this world that carry one of the many cities that you have traveled to, and you have learned you were moments from being crushed by one of them. You really should be careful where you walk.
I turn around.
Standing next to a tree right behind you is a hooded figure with amber eyes to match yours.
Do I recognize her, right? Yes.
You know this is the unknown.
So Darialis takes a knee, kneels, and then from there bows so that his forehead touches the leaves on the ground beneath them. My lady unknown.
You were always the proper one.
My mentor had taught me well in terms of etiquette.
Or foolishly.
I do not believe that it is foolish to have respect. Griff was smiling awkwardly. Darialis would not do that. It's Griffo who's like, oh god, I'm nervous all of a sudden. So he, from his bow, he said this all like with his eyes closed, head down, and then will, from still bowing, will like look up at her.
What is it you need, child?
So he will come up from the bow, stay kneeling. My lady, I come seeking permission. Grace. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Oh,
Continue
no.
what you're saying. I'll introduce it afterwards.
All right. My lady, I'm not sure how to phrase this request of you. For I do not own my soul. It belongs to you and your realm already. But I need permission to grant its ownership to the Everknown.
She wishes to have a soul, what has already been mine for centuries.
Yes, I have offered it to her freely. But I cannot offer that which is not mine.
You're correct. You can. And as she's thinking, she's looking up. You kind of hear like a shuffling through like leaves and like a clank of metal as from behind her, like really trying to drag this sword that they are pulling, is a about 2 foot tall, red fiendish looking individual that just goes, "Yeah, fuck, come on, you're heavy, fuck." And you see this like little imp dragging a like large sword, and he kind of turns around and goes, "Fuck, are you looking at? This is mine.
Uh, my lady, is this someone in your retinue?
I'm not in her fucking retin. What the fuck is a retin?
Entourage? Coterie?
No, this is not. I don't know who this is. And this is an NPC that was donated for us by Jen of a rude imp dragging a large sword large enough for you to carry. Plus, you also get a modifier added to your next roll thanks to Jen. And she just goes, I don't know who. And she waves her hand, and all of a sudden, the imp is flying hundreds of feet through the trees. And you just hear, like, before he's flying, you just hear, ah, fuck! As he's thrown. And the sword is left there. It is an immaculate sword that stops about a foot from the hilt. It is cracked and broken from the rest of it. It is a hilt and about a foot of cracked sword, but it emanates magical power.
I lift the sword. Perhaps destiny has blessed our encounter this day. And then I think he just conjures up like a sheath for it on his belt and then slides it into there.
Draw the sword
Thank you,
one
Jen.
more time.
As I was saying before we were rudely interrupted.
God, if someone doesn't donate for that delicious pun.
I am requesting permission to grant the ownership of my soul to the Everknown. For in full truth, she must bless my journey to the Lantern's throne to exact the justice that is owed.
Do me one more favor. Draw the sword once more.
Darialis, who stood up at this point, draws the sword and holds it in his two hands out in front of him to present it to her.
As you pull the sword from your sheath, it is no longer metal. It is wooden. You'll come to see the material in which this was made has changed. Complete the blade and complete your task, and your promise is fulfilled.
And the favor, my lady? What do I owe?
When, not if, when you kill the script, you don't get a lick of his divinity. It is all mine. Would you like to make a move about it?
Yes. Yes. I would like to pray for guidance. Please and thank you.
When you pray for guidance, name the aid you seek and answer one. The GM will describe the aid that actually comes as they answer the other. Which one would you like to answer?
I want aid from the Lantern, my teacher, because I seek knowledge. Of course, So in so in his head, I think time maybe slows down a little bit, so that he and the lantern can perhaps have a conversation if I
Mhm.
roll well enough on this. Um, Teacher, the balance would be disrupted as it has been for so long. Anyway, once the script is dead, and we would have gained his divinity. What imbalances could occur should the unknown's power increase through this?
So, fun part is, you don't have
There's no
to
roll,
roll
is
for
there?
this, no?
Yeah, okay.
So, you're answering what kind of God answers prayer you want? You want your teacher.
Yes, that's the god I want, who I'm
Cool.
talking to.
So, the unclear omens and visions that besiege you. You see visages of a blood spattered blade. Though this blood does not look like the blood of mortals, you are used to blood being red, vibrant, oxygenated. This blood is black and gold that spatters the wooden blade that you see. You see a wide grin, one that you have never seen before in your long life. It is the best word to describe its evil. You see a woman in a cloak with deep blue eyes staring at you with tears falling down her cheeks that you can't see, but you know they are there. And the vision ends with a loud scream as you hear his voice. My beloved student, if you do not take that divinity, there's no telling what will be done. But if anybody were to take it out of the rest of my coterie, as you would call them, she is the one I trust the most.
Mm. My lady unknown.
Yes.
I have plans for this divinity to bring magic back into the world. It is
Do you not trust me to do so?
No, hell no, I don't. But he doesn't say that. Because the problem is Darialis only trusts his own hands. Maybe, clearly, we've experienced some like deep betrayal in the past.
Mm-hmm.
One of the gods killed his mentor, the king of the gods. But also he's a control freak. Like, it's hard for him to let go, to shall we say, like, share tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Then, my lady, were we to perhaps work together on bringing magic into this realm, back into this realm? I would need to be a part of it. I could not idly stand by and just watch. My mentor's hands move through me. Please, you must understand. I could trust you to bring magic back into this world, but I must be a part of that solution.
You are just as she described.
As described?
Of course. Oh, you do not think that the Everknown is the only one with prized mortals, do you?
No, I did not presume.
I had a seer. One with magic eye bestowed. And this is where you see her true form start to come out.
Uh-oh.
From under the cloak, a long, effervescent green serpentine tail starts to come out. And that hood begins to fall back as you see a reptilian face with eyes that the nictating membrane closes on, and they change color every time she blinks. And she looks at you, getting an inch from your face. You think that your master was the only one with the ability for magic?
No, I did not think that or assume that. I just only know what he taught me, my lady.
Then he taught you selfishly.
Perhaps.
You. And you see she pauses as she starts to, like, while you're talking, her tail has coiled around your feet. And she lightly, as the same way as the Everknown did prior, but with much smaller mortal-esque claws, makes you look at her with a single claw under your chin. Do I make you anxious, student of the lantern?
My anxiety comes not from your presence or your actions, my lady, but from my need. I must have vengeance, and I cannot achieve it without your permission. So if I must promise you the divinity of the betrayer, once I have slain him, if that is what is required, so that I have both the unknown and the Everknown's permission, all that is and is not known, once I have that, then I will kill him. And all consequences be damned.
There is a grin upon her face, one that tears from ear to ear as you say that. So be it. But just know, you will be remembered. Godkiller.
That is what I hope to be. And I thank you. And I hope that we will work together in the future. Once I've given you his divinity, that we will bring magic together back to this world so that the lessons of the lantern and its light that it sheds will not be forgotten.
Yes. Not forgotten. Be on your way. Find the heralds. They will have what you seek.
So he nods, bows once more, steps between the trees, and disappears again through the secret ways of the woods of Valdara. I was looking at the moves,
Yes.
and I remembered that in order to kill a god, I need to be in their true form, and I need to either know about their downfall or exploit their downfall if I want to like spare or kill. Because I was really worried that things were going to come to a head during that last scene. But I don't know the unknown's downfall. Well, I have an idea. And maybe I might need to spare her later, depending on how things go, or kill her. I don't know. Darialis doesn't have a plan. He just has an idea, a wish.
Yeah.
But I do need to know the script's downfall. And I'm hoping the Herald can give me that. What that secret is.
You have learned two of the truths. The lantern was extinguished, this is true. Though not extinguished in the way that most would think, because he lives in you.
Spark has changed vessels.
The unknown has let a mortal know them. That truth has changed. The unknown has let two mortals know them. As Darialis, you are the second mortal in this realm to see the true form of the unknown and live. You find your way through the trees, through the whispers of divinity, and are met with a fist to your face, as I need you to suffer one strain. As golden skin and dark tresses of curled hair stand over you, enraged. So you've come to kill me, is it, Godkiller?
Am I looking at the script?
You are looking at the Herald.
Herald. Okay.
The god of light and dark.
Lord Herald, to kill you had never crossed my mind. I apologize for any confusion that my arrival might have caused. I mean nothing but the utmost respect in my approach. And as he says this, he takes a step back, kneels, and does that same bow, putting his forehead to the leaves on the ground.
You see, as you do this reverent bow, that golden skin from the hair starts to bleed down as the hair starts to turn stark white and the skin begins to turn a milky silver. Oh, sorry. The energy coming this way was much different than what you are showing now. And you see that even his demeanor and his figure has slimmed down in less of a warrior type and more of a diplomat, we'll say. You're Lanterns kid, right?
Yes, Lord Harold. Darialis isn't trying to show it, but he's concerned if there was truly aggressive energy coming off of him during his approach. Either something's wrong with the way that he is moving between the trees, or the way the secret ways between the trees, something's wrong in that activation, or something else is here, either following him or coincidentally arriving at the same time. I think as Darialis sort of slips into like a rote sort of introduction, yes, I am Darialis of the Everglade of the Green Pines, sort of, saying his titles.
Yes.
First student of the Lantern. From his pocket, he pulls out a small pendant made from tiger's eye. And I kind of want to unleash my divinity.
Okay.
And it's interesting that we're calling it divinity, and you did tell me I could decide what my power was. Because I've gone for divination. Which is, yeah. And so this is one of his divining tools. And just sort of lets it dangle. And we'll try and sense this aggressive energy that the Herald is talking about.
So this is so fun. I get to play with something that I do in real life. So I'm going to actually make this wield a power rather than unleash your divinity.
Okay, then.
So when you wield a power to do something only a god can, roll 2d6 and add 1 for each true statement. You already have a +1 for this.
Yes, thank you, Jen.
You've done this specific act before perfectly. I'm going to say yes. You've been alive for centuries. There's no way you haven't done this act before perfectly. You're desperate for this to work. Mark 1 strain. Are you desperate?
Yes.
Okay.
I cannot have any unknown complications entering this situation.
Okay, mark 1 strain. So you are at 2 strain now.
Dope.
You are close to a shrine, lair, or domain of the god you took this power from. I'm going to say no. No, you are not. Because this is your power given to you from your god. So yeah, no, I don't think you are close to the lair, domain, or shrine of him.
If he even has any left. Yeah, if there are even any left, shrines or lairs.
Actually, let me make an addendum to that. That's a yes. Yes, you are, because you are the last shrine of the lantern.
Cool. Dope.
So roll them bones.
And I'm getting a
+4.
Okay. Oop. 1 dice almost fell. Okay, well that's a 5 on the dice. So
a 9.
9.
A hit. On a hit, you do it. So take us on a word
That could have. I was
show.
so close to being an overkill. So, like I said, Darialis is sort of going through. My Lord Harold, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Darialis, the last of the mages. The the last shrine of the lantern, the holder of his spark. And as he's doing this, he's letting this dangle, trying, very much to have it like be surreptitious, not sort of on purpose. And then just out of the corner of his eye, like looks down to it and to see, is it moving in maybe a specific direction towards this aggressive energy, and if he can uncloak whatever the source of this is,
You
reveal it.
look, and usually your pendulum will either circle in one way for yes and one way for no. This is the first time your pendulum is not circling. It has stopped and is lifting to point directly behind the heralds. And that's when you see it. You see movement in the areas behind the god you are speaking with. It is a tall, lithe figure that is shrouded in some sort of invisibility. But you're the last spark of the lantern. Magic does not work against you the way that people wish it to. You are able to see this thing before it strikes. But the herald does not. Suddenly, this beast, this individual, we don't know the level of sentience of it yet, is clamping down on the crook of the herald's neck and tearing the flesh from it as black and gold ichor starts to pour down the herald's chest, and that golden skin and black hair comes back almost immediately as he whips around, and with golden wires that are magic and so beautiful in the way that they are held, used, developed, we'll say, as he grabs the staff of it and wails it down behind him, cleaving this creature and clear in half. And then you see it. It is a creature that has the elongated body of a human with long claws, but the head of a crocodile. But it is lifeless now. As the herald, now in this form of anger and anguish and war. A domain that nobody knew he held. You're starting to learn there are more truths to this world that you did not know. That your 5 gods have domains that their people have no clue that they hold. As he turns to you with the axe and goes, "So are you lying to me?"
Still holding the pendulum. I say, I had just become aware of its presence and was trying to warn you, but your godly instincts are better than mine, it seems. Of course they are, my lord.
What is it you seek?
Are you in danger? Is someone hunting you?
I don't know. It seems that perhaps all of us are in danger. It's what happens when a Godkiller comes about.
There is only one god who needs worry about me, my Lord Harold, and you are not one. I come seeking favor from you today. Aid.
And what is that?
I am on a mission of cosmic justice. One you know of. The unknown and the ever-known have already blessed my journey. And they have brought me here. They have directed me to your feet. For you hold the information I need to burn the script. To flip the table. And bring back beauty and life to this magicless world.
You see, when you say the unknown, there is a stop and a look in his eyes. And as he goes to speak, he cannot, for her name is not allowed to leave his lips. And he looks at you and goes, "She's blessed your journey."
Yes. I have struck deals with both of them. And I am prepared to strike yet another deal with you, my lord, if it brings me closer to my goal.
I just want the fucker dead.
And you will help me, no strings attached?
The only thing I ask is for his head on a bloody pike.
I will see that that is made true, my lord. But I need your help. How do I detach his head from his body?
And
A divine
sheath your
being like that.
blade.
He looks down at the hilt and then pulls it.
He holds his hand out to you, as if to say, give it over.
And then Darialis, again, puts it on two hands in front of them and presents it to the herald.
He grabs it by the hilt and grabs the blade where it is broken and pulls forward so that it draws his blood and ichor from his palm. And as he pulls forward, those same golden cables that wove to make this beautiful axe not just moments earlier weave together to create a blade made of wood of the first tree, the oldest tree on the planet, the same wood that killed your teacher. And as you see, written in old Valdarin on the blade of the sword, right where it was broken now that it's fixed, is a name. Eos.
Eos.
You speak it, and the sword turns into a bright light. One almost would think it is a flame, the heat that it gives off, but it is not. It is pure light.
Eos.
It turns off.
This blade is more than I had guessed.
This blade was made from all of us. The hilt from my beloved, the blade from me, the magic from the lantern, the strength from the Everknown, and the use from the script. This blade has only ever known godly blood. Keep it that way.
My Lord Harold, thank you. Such charity was not expected.
Think of it as a husband giving you a gift to be able to see his wife again.
Does that make sense to me? Does that? Yeah, Darius has no idea what to do with that statement because the interpersonal relationships of the gods are not necessarily something he's familiar with. I mean, he like knows politically how they act with each other, but how they actually feel about one another is so he just sort of clears his throat. My Lord Harold, I have one last request.
Yes.
You are one of the most knowledgeable of the gods. What the light does not touch, the dark holds and keeps secret. But it has come to my attention that my master, that the lantern, held more than just the reins of magic in the cosmos. What was his other domain?
His other domain was... And we'll have to find out after our break. Thanks for staying with us for so long, everybody. We're going to take about like a 10-15 minute break. Go to the bathroom, get a snack, get some water, pet your pets, say hi to your families if they're not asleep. We'll be back, and you'll be able to find out what happens to the rest of this. So we'll see you then. But my mouse fell asleep. There we go. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome back from our break. Um, I feel well rested and refreshed after a 15-minute break of being up since 2 in the morning. um, but just a quick recap for if there's anybody new in the chat. We are collecting money for Doctors Without Borders, which is a wonderful organization that helps bring medical aid to over 70 countries. But currently, this funding is focusing on Palestinian aid for the horrors that are going on over in Gaza. You can donate some wonderful things to either fuck with or help my wonderful Godkiller here, who is asking a question of our god of light and dark, of what was the other domain of the god of magic. Our god of light and dark looks at you with intrigue, as he's never been asked that question before, nor has anybody ever wanted to know the answer. Well, it is not easy to remember. He hasn't talked about it in quite a long time. Your god, the Lantern, is not just the god of magic. He is the god of time. So, that raises the question of how did the god of time allow himself to be killed?
That is indeed the question. One I cannot answer. The skill of divination that was passed on to me from my master is one I have not yet fully mastered.
Well,
It's...
I don't think anybody really masters that.
Well, I suppose if my mentor had, he would have either seen the betrayal coming and would have known how to thwart it. Or, if it is, since it is true what you tell me, that time was his other domain, then I suspect my master had indeed seen the betrayal coming and allowed it to pass. But to what end I could not fathom to guess. He must have seen a tapestry woven with the threads of fate far greater than my mortal eyes can divine.
Now, my lovely Godkiller, you are still holding this sword, are you not?
I am. Eos.
This is not a move, what I am about to ask you.
Okay.
This is not a mechanic that I am about to ask you.
All right.
But I need you to roll me 2d6. No modifiers. No questions to answer to help. Just a luck of the draw. To see if you can stop what is about to happen.
Oh no. Rolling. A 5 and a 2 makes 7.
On a 7 to 9. A perfect hit. You do it. The sword. From the size of it compared to the herald, to both of the goddesses you've seen, and even your teacher, it looks like a dagger in their hands. The herald is holding a smaller size to speak with you. But as you are speaking with this god of light and dark, the hold on the sword is not the strongest, as you, a mage. A sword is not your trusted weapon. Magic is. The blade slips from your hand, almost looking like it is being puppeted through the air. And within an instant, it is plunged deep into the center of the herald's chest. No,
My lord!
a little to the left, where his heart would be. That scream from your premonition is heard miles away. Birds fluttering and squawking out of the forests as you watch. Actually, Darialis, what does it look like to you as you watch the light leave the eyes of the god of light and dark?
The light would leave a herald's eyes. But to speak of light leaving often refers to dark coming in. But that would not be the case here, for he had mastery over darkness as well. As the light fades from his eyes, they turn a neutral gray, fogging, clouding over, petrifying, as his eyes turn into two stone orbs. Darialis is shocked. Whatever poise he had is gone. He slouches, his face losing its sort of statuesque perfection. And he goes to the herald, and his fingers lightly graze the ichor, the golden dark black ichor that is creeping out of the wound. And he looks around. Is there an aggressor? What could have done this?
You hear nothing but a maniacal laugh.
Show yourself!
My student, it is time for you to make a choice. The pain has already been done, but you must put him out of his misery. Darialis, would you like to kill or spare a god?
My teacher, did you do this?
No.
This was not your hand that slew the herald?
No. Well, some might say it was. Some would say that my hand is his hand. But I am not the one that pulled the strings. That sword thirsts for divine blood. Once put together, it will not stop until all gods are gone. That is why I broke it in my final moments.
I only seek to slay one god. I am not a destroyer of pantheons, a usurper. I am a loyal follower of you, my master. And I seek justice. Not bloodlust, not power.
But what is justice if it comes from hatred?
This is a lesson that is beyond me at this time, my teacher.
I know.
My heart is filled with nothing but hatred, and you expect me to contain multitudes.
No.
The herald is dying before my eyes, and I
Do
have a
you
choice.
kill or do you spare?
Between all that is known and unknown, I cannot be the hand that ends the life of the herald. And I take the sword and I sheathe it. And on the sheath, there's like a leather latch and buckle. And I put that over the hilt so that it stays locked in. I go to the nearby trees. For in these woods, there are herbs that contain healing magics. Perhaps I can quickly create a poultice that will staunch the bleeding of this divine wound, so that I can spare the herald and save him from this uncivilized death.
My student, I shall give you one thing so that you may aid him. Take a power, something I still hold while within you, and burn it to never use it again. That is the only way you can save him.
This will not be the last thing I will have to sacrifice on this road to vengeance.
No. It won't be.
So Darialis, from his pocket in his black slacks, pulls out once more the tiger's eye pendant. And he wraps it into the center of his palm. And as he's kneeling over the bleeding body of the herald, the pendant rises. And in the lantern's light begins to glow like a magnifying glass refracting the sun onto a leaf. As there's a spark and smoke. And the pendant begins to burn, which it shouldn't because it is made of precious stone and gems. But it burns and like paper disappears, and Darialis has lost the gift of divination and prophecy.
But he has earned another one in its place. One that he does not yet feel or know how to use. One that his master has written into his very being before his death to activate when this choice were to be made. You watch as this pendant burns, the pendulum disappears, and suddenly a small orb of magic you only recognize as that of your teachers goes around this wound, and it shows inside the mending and regrowth of muscle and blood vessel and skin as this wound knits itself back together, almost as if time were reversing. And that petrified stone color starts to reverse itself as the light and dark comes back into this god's eyes, and he comes back with a gasp. What did you do?
I reversed the sword's wound. I apologize, I could not keep control of it. It thirsts for divine blood, and I was caught unawares.
He knows. He knows you're on your way now.
I must go soon, then. For I will soon lose the element of surprise, if I'm not already.
You, be careful. And then you hear that voice in your head again. You may have healed him and saved him, but you still must make a choice. Will he die by your hand, or will you spare him?
The Herald.
Yes.
I have already chosen. I only intend to kill one god today.
Then spare him.
Spared he is.
His true form is that of the sun and moon, and his downfall is his love for the unknown. My lovely Godkiller, Describe to me how you spare this god in front of you. And roll 2d6.
It is precisely that downfall that led Darialis to spare him. He's just struck a deal with the unknown, and although she intimidates him, he knows that he's important to her. They're spouses, and no, there's only one god in this pantheon that is his enemy. So, he did all this with the pendulum and the reversing of the wounds, and so I think it's a simple act, this act of sparing, that Darialis stands, and from where the herald is sitting on the now blood-stained, leaf-covered ground, he extends a hand, an offer to help the herald stand up.
Go ahead and roll me 2d6.
I don't add anything to that. 5 plus 1 is 6.
Ooh, unless somebody donates $5, you don't add anything to that. Going twice. No donation.
All right.
Alrighty. This is our first failure. On a 6. The river seals your choice. Your mercy is eternal. And you can never kill them. No matter how they trespass against you in the future. Regardless of your role, you receive a semblance of their power. You receive the ability called Night Shift. You gain a second form where all of your colors dull, and you can use shadows to teleport, hide, even travel. And he takes your hand.
Oh. A little too late, but still
A
very
little.
warranted.
Hold on. A little rewind. I will allow this.
Okay.
On a 7 to 9, they perform a single favor of your choosing, such as lifting a curse or performing a miracle. What is the favor you ask?
Oh. Ooh. I'm not cursed, technically. I do have these bonds that I've formed with the Everknown, the goddess of moon and waves. And I have promised her my soul from the unknown, so that's cursey.
It's also his wife you're asking him to go against.
Well, sometimes a husband or a partner can convince their partner, to be lenient, show mercy, and whatnot.
I don't know. She's kind of a scary snake lady.
She is. No, I think the miracle is when our hands touch. If I may, a herald grabs Darialis' hand in this act of sparing, and we see those gold threads wrap out and wrap around Darialis' hand and form a golden bracelet. And if I can, the miracle would be that maybe this bracelet can deflect one blow, like a warrior bracelet, because I kept seeing him in his warrior form with that golden skin and the dark curly hair, I thought maybe he could pass on some of his
Mm.
warrior spirit to Darialis's like frail mage form. Frail's not the right word, but live, shall we say?
Yes. You shall gain. Let's do a little homebrew here.
Sure.
Instead of a curse or a power, you will gain an honor.
Okay.
And due to your success, thanks Anonymous for your
Thanks,
modifier,
Anonymous.
um, you will gain the honor of the Herald, which will deflect and take away one strain that would affect you.
Yes.
And you still get that power.
The night shift.
Yes.
Yes.
In which he stands up, having taken your hand and bestowing this honor upon you, and looks at you in this magnificent warrior form. Now, having had died is not out of disrespect for you, but more so protection for themselves in their true form. Standing about 13 feet tall, this magnificent warrior that blazes like the sun smiles down upon you and goes, I see you have gained your master's other power. Use it wisely. I think that's the reason why he kept it hidden. Others would seek it out.
The night shift power?
The time.
No. The secret time power that I'm not yet fully aware of. I think this is the first Darialis thinks. No, in his mind he can sense the power that the Herald has passed on to him to be able to move through the shadows as he does between the trees, but whatever power has been unlocked in him from the lantern is yet to be discovered, but nods. In your wisdom, Herald, I will take comfort. But I must go before the script learns where I am and what you have done here.
Well, he already knows.
Then I must take the fight to him.
Good luck. The first tree is the way to get to where we're from.
The first tree. And I think Darialis turns and just automatically knows what direction the tree is in somewhere on this planet. Almost like Mecca, he can just sense it regardless of where he is on the planet. The flow of magic is strong from that place. It's the source of everything. And I think he steps between two trees and again moves through the secret ways of the wood.
You move through tree after tree, root after root, traveling at amazing speeds. Because that's what magic does. It well, that's what time does. You were never truly traveling through the trees, Darialis. You are fast forwarding your place in time. You've known time magic all along. Your teacher taught it to you under the guise of other magic. You're starting to see the blurs of the purple magic that was in that orb around the Herald's chest. You were so used to just traveling You never paid attention. That's when you feel it. That magic of the first tree, you felt it before. The lantern's taken you there. To be his student, his personal student of magic, you had to experience the first tree. And you are moving without any kind of care, trying to get this endeavor done, as you smack into a wall.
You'd think I'd be more careful. This is the third time I'm moving between the trees in the secret ways where I'm just. But it's been a while. I spent 20 years sitting in a seaside grove.
You could not have seen this coming, as this is a wall of magic. I do need you to suffer one strain from how hard
Great.
you hit it. We're at 3 strain, everybody. If you'd like a
3
clear strain, that is an incentive.
Or if you'd like to give more strain.
Or give more strain. Stuff happens when we hit
make
5
things
strain.
Extra dramatic.
Oh, you'll suffer more strain, don't you worry. The script has it written. You are forced out of the secret ways. Sorry. You are forced out of the secret ways by a wall of magic that once you are not traveling in that way, seems to allow you to walk through. As if you've been given a key to enter. There is a long staircase as you walk up to the first tree and start to climb it. It was never tiring to climb it with your teacher. Magic is alive here. It feeds you. You can breathe it in as if it was a source for life. Well, to some it is. You make your way up to the top. And that's when you see it. The thing you couldn't see the last time that you were here because it was hidden from you. A throne with the corpse of a god, with a hole through their chest. But this isn't your god. This is not the lantern. On the decaying, mummified skin of this deity, you see tattooed markings on their forehead and on their hands. This is an ancient deity that no Valderans know existed. You know, you've done so well getting here, pet. I wondered when you'd find out about my husband's death. The one your teacher killed.
Who is speaking to me?
Oh, it's been that long that you've forgotten my voice. Forgotten the touch of my waves. Or the coolness of my moonlight.
My lady, how could I have known?
He never told you.
There is much that my master did not teach me. Much that he had promised to show and reveal to me, and that promise was ripped from me.
No,
But I could not have known this.
it wasn't ripped from you. Your teacher was a liar.
And what lies do you speak of?
You see the man on the chair. His name was the Crown. He was the king of the gods before your beloved lantern. His father, actually. His and the scripts.
This is why the blade of the first tree was formed. Why else would each of the gods put themselves into a weapon that destroys divinity, if not to kill someone else?
Because we were lied to.
By my master, you say?
That blade was forged to fell the first tree, to disconnect the gods from the mortals. To save the mortals from the hunts.
But that would do more than just sever the ties between mortals and gods.
Yes,
That could destroy everything that Valdara is.
exactly.
The trees, the seas, the mountains, the valleys.
Yes.
Valdara's creatures, its children. And the magic.
Yes. The magic. It is a wondrous, beautiful, covetous thing, isn't it? The magic. Something you want to hold dear and never let go.
Feeling threatened, Darialis walks towards the throne where this ancient corpse lies in it, turns and looks. Can I see the Everknown?
No?
He pulls the blade and holds it, I think, upright in front of him, almost like a staff or a rod. I have intentions to only kill one god today, my lady. So if you are not here to aid in that goal, then I request that you step away and allow me the clear space to achieve justice.
That is when you feel it. The clawed hand around the back of your neck as you lift into the air. But it is not a claw you have ever felt before. When you are turned to see who you face, it is your master, your teacher, but different, brighter, skin peeling as if it was paper burning away, ink filled eyes that stare down at you. And you realize the claws you feel are not claws, but ink-filled pens as they dig into your skin. And he smiles with that Cheshire grin he is always described to have. Well, 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 well.
Betrayer! Usurper!
Some could say the same about you, darling.
I am loyal to my master.
How can you be loyal when you were never told the truth? Is that not indoctrination?
Let me, release me,
Huh.
and I will indoctrinate you to the ways of this blade.
Go from begging to threatening so easily.
I beg for nothing.
Are you sure about that?
What lies have you come to spit into my ears?
No lies. Just promises.
Promises. The god of honesty and promises tells nothing but lies and breaks oaths.
Do I know? And I wasn't the one that killed my father.
You killed your brother.
Yes, I did. I did kill my brother. And I was happy to.
Just as I will be happy to slay you. And I'm going to try and activate the night shift power.
Okay. Yeah. Wield the power. Let's go.
Oh.
When you
Just
wield the
killing
power
gods.
to do something only a god can, roll 2d6 and add 1 for each true statement.
So, I imagine the moon is up in the sky, and I am in the shadow of the moonlight from as it's shining on the script, the god of honesty and promises. So as I'm within the shadow, I look into it, like I look at his chest, but I don't see his chest. I see the darkness, the shade before it, and I look into that, and then just move as I come out into the shadow of the throne at the top of the first tree where we stand.
Okay. Have you done this act before? Perfectly.
No, never.
Are you desperate for this to work?
Absolutely.
Mark 1 strain. Everybody, we are at 4 strain.
Holy
If we get
shit.
1 more strain, shit happens. Or if we hit $50, shit happens because there's a milestone at $50.
Get those donations in.
Are you close?
Now, I do have the favor, the honor of the herald.
You do.
But I don't know if that would block this strain. It would block more like a direct attack because it was a warrior honor. Okay.
You're close to a shrine layer, a domain of the god you took this power from. I'm going to say yes.
Cool.
Because you are specifically using the shadows. So roll with a +2.
Okay, here we go. 4 plus 3 is 7. 8, 9. So it's a hit.
Okay. On a hit, a 7 to 9, you do it. You look into the shadows of this deity's chest, and with a subtle movement forward, it is like you are crawling through a tunnel, and suddenly you are standing behind the throne. And he sneers. Isn't that interesting? It seems he's helped you, despite dying. Unless you have a way to help.
And from behind the throne, Darialis springs out, holding the blade, pointing forward at the script. Only one god will die today, and that's you. And then he's gonna shoot an arcane bolt through the sword of the first tree,
Okay.
the wooden blade, at the script, and hopefully damage him.
So you would like to inflict violence.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's go. When you inflict violence on someone, roll 2d6, add 1 for each true statement. They wish you harm. Absolutely. Absolutely, this god wishes you harm. You're desperate. Yep.
I'm at 4 strain. I'm desperate.
And it's personal. It has been from the
absolutely.
beginning. So this is a +3.
Overkill with a 13. My lucky number, by the way.
My lucky number is also 13.
Yes!
On an overkill, a 10+, you lose yourself to righteous fury. The GM will tell you the cost of your divinity. You shoot this arcane bolt. You've never used your own magic on the first tree before. It was forbidden when you came to visit. This arcane bolt swirls in front of your chest, which is odd. Usually it comes from your hands when you cast. But this arcane bolt is a mixture of your magic and that deep purple magic you saw in that orb. As when it fires off, it knocks you back 20 feet against the branches that make this open throne room. You do hit him on the shoulder, and there is a smoldering of pages that looks like a book burning when you place a cigarette on it. And he just looks at it and looks back to you. Looks like my little brother didn't tell you that the first tree amplifies mortal magic. Seems your magic was a little too strong for you, wasn't it? And he's going to bring an arm back and bring it forward, and ink is going to splatter along the tree. And once it hits your ankle, it wraps around, and with a motion, peace pulls you across the throne room to pull you closer to him. And he walks the maybe 5 feet he left you from him to stand over you. You planning on using that toothpick against me, or are you planning to just be flung around like a toy?
With arcane might, Darialis will try and raise himself up so that he's floating, levitating above the surface of this throne room, and take the blade and just slash it across the torso of the script.
Absolutely. Using the sword, I am going to say, is a challenge somebody dangerous.
Yeah.
So when you challenge someone dangerous in front of an audience, say what foolish or risky action you hope they'll take, and roll 2d6, one for each, add 1 for each statement. So for this, I think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, you're hoping to goad him into a deeper fight so you can harm him more.
I need him to come into his true form, at the very least, so that we can get this slaying on.
So, they care about your opinion. No, he doesn't. They think they are stronger than you. Absolutely. That's a +1. The crowd is on your side.
Well,
Yes.
okay. All I know is that the Everknown is somewhere here watching.
Yes.
Because she was speaking to me, but what other crowd there might be, I'm unaware of at the moment.
Exactly. Roll your 2d6 with
And
a
I add
plus
2.
2.
This is, at first I was really into the adding things, but overkills are scary. Oh no. That's a 6.
Even with the plus 2?
Mm-hmm.
On a miss, a 6 or less, your target turns the tables on you with cutting words or very real threats. Suffer too strain to resist their provocations or immediately do something foolish and risky in response.
Well, I cannot suffer to strain. I will not, because I'm already at 4. So I will have to do something foolish in response, but let's see first what he does.
You slash this blade at this god, and he looks at you again with those deep pools of ink that he calls eyes, and smiles. Oh, how I will rip that spark of my brother out of you, so that every single ember of the lantern is gone.
There's a fear now that wasn't there in Darialis before. Before it was just righteous fury, anger, maybe even a little bit of that bloodlust he claimed not to have, but now there is fear. And so, levitating there with like waves of magic coming off of him, he drops to the ground and takes a few hesitant, anxious steps back and finds himself standing in a pool of this ink that the script had flung around the stage. And he looks around and, using the night shift power, sinks into the pool of ink. Is that foolish enough?
That is very foolish. He smiles. You're scared now, aren't you? You didn't think that anyone knew what you had in you. That he talks to you, still teaching you every day of your life. You'll never be the master, always the student.
In Darialis's mind's eye, he's like submerged, floating in this black inky liquid and just sort of like running in place, not being able to go anywhere.
You hear your teacher's voice, but it is muffled. It is so far away in this realm that you've sunk yourself into. The pressure of this inky void is something unlike anything you have ever experienced, as you are suddenly ripped from it.
No.
Though the hand on you is not the claw of ink pens, it is one of mummified flesh with tattoos glowing as you feel magic pulsate throughout the throne room. The crown speaks for the first time in 4 millennia. That is enough. Silas, show yourself. Your true form. And this is the first time you've heard a name. A true name. The script looks, and those inky eyes are no longer fully black. They are a beautiful bright blue. As in front of you stands a dragon made not of scale but of paper, with wings that fold like books, claws that look like quills, and he trembles in front of his father. You and your brother will always be each other's downfalls. So, allow the mortal to do what he wants. Or, eat him. Stop playing with your food. At least your brother was decisive with what he did. And you are dropped on the floor of the throne room with that paper dragon standing before you, and that corpse collapsing back down into the throne.
Darialis is on his hands and knees, I think dripping this ink off of him, his feather mantle just coated with this dark, viscous liquid. And in his hand, he still has the blade. And as he stands, he holds it aloft and shouts, Eos! As the blade starts to glow.
Well, exactly what the command word tells it to. The blade burns with light.
If it is your brother who is your downfall, and I am the last shrine to the lantern, then let it be me who delivers the execution that he longs for. And then we'll run forward and try and stab at this paper dragon.
Darialis, my Godkiller, would you like to kill or spare a god?
I have come to kill one god today, and the gods will be damned if I don't kill him now.
When you confront a god in their true form and exploit their downfall to kill them, describe how you slay them and roll 2d6. If you all want to help to add modifiers, now would be the time to do so. I was nice and rewound earlier. Late donations will be appreciated, but once these bones are rolled and I am told a number, there will not be a rewind.
Just waiting, folks, for those who want to get.
Yep.
any extra
We'll
bonuses in.
give like a 3-minute pause just for y'all to donate if you want to.
Mhm.
Also, if you want to clear strain, there is a possibility strain might come from this.
I'm at 4 strain right now. I can block 1 from a powerful attack. I haven't taken that yet. But if I hit 5 strain, shit goes down.
Yeah. And also the modifier stacks. So if y'all donate 5 modifiers, it's a +5, which could either help or go bad.
Yeah, it could push me into an overkill, and I don't know what that'll do on the kill a god
Yeah.
move.
And also, just a reminder, at $50, we have a milestone, which is the world shifts, in which you will find out what that does if we hit that milestone.
Mm-hmm. So get those donations in, people.
Yeah, we're coming down to our last stretch.
Mm-hmm. There's only a little bit left here.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing for Darialis to take care of.
Alrighty. You may roll your bones.
I will roll my bones.
And don't say the number when you roll it, because we do have somebody trying to donate. So once we will roll, and then don't say what you got, so that the donation, the Godkiller hold music, it sounds like Baby Got Back. That's what's playing right now in the hold music. I'm not gonna play it because I don't want to be DMCA'd, but it's fun music. I know Tiltify can be a little frustrating for donations.
That's why we're holding.
Yeah.
Luckily, we've got all the time. We don't actually have all that time.
Well, it's also, luckily, there's 2 of us for outros. It's not going to take that long.
Yes, it's very true. Oh,
that, I want you to know, that mod is my IRL best friend, and she has thwarted me in every single game that I've played in for charity, and you're offering to help me. Actually, that would add another roll, and depending on how you roll, that could change a lot of things.
If basically the answer, freshly squeezed fruit blood, is yes. Add more strain. Whatever will get those donations to come in.
Yeah,
Remember,
honestly,
this is for charity.
Yeah.
It's not for Darialis. It's not for Krifu. It's for
that would also bring us to our first milestone, and the world would shift.
That could be a really great way to end this story.
It could be.
Of which there are only 10 to 12 minutes left. So we got to get those donations in real quick.
We're raising money for Palestinian aid. Come on. We want to help the world. Help the world be a better place. That's why we do this. And also, just so you guys know, we will be raiding into another game, so please stay with us after the game so that we can continue the raid train, this 27-hour raid train, which is wild. But I am so honored to be a part of. Oh, we got a +1, and we... Okay.
No. Shut up. All right.
So, here's how we're going to do it. You're going to roll to kill him. You're going to suffer that strain. So you get a +1 to your kill a god. What did you roll?
I'm rolling now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I rolled a 7 + 1 is 8.
On a hit, 7 to 9, they seize something vital from you as well. Name what vital part of yourself you lose.
I don't. I lose the Herald's honor. I mean, I'm still going to take a strain, but
That's
at
fine.
the very least,
that is
Herald...
so amazing. Oh my god. I didn't even think of that. Okay, yeah, you lose the Herald's honor. Regardless of the roll, you do seize a semblance of their power. You get their power of the ink. You get to use the ink and manipulate ink in the way that they do. But
Amazing.
you do suffer a 5th strain. When you suffer your 5th strain, choose whether you succumb or persevere. If you choose to succumb, describe how divinity explodes from you as you die, altering the cradle forever. If you choose to persevere, roll 2d6. On a 7 to 9, clear 1 strain, but also reveal 1 to your opponent as you fight through the pain. A weakness or flaw they can exploit, something you desperately desire, or your true hidden intentions. There's no enemy, or is there, for you to exploit. Oh, everybody got put in ad hell. I apologize.
There's no enemy to exploit me.
Maybe. Cause
I must persevere.
Okay.
I cannot succumb now when I have achieved almost everything that I needed to.
Roll them bones.
It's a 5.
It's a 5. The world has shifted because we hit $50.
Oh.
Your God is still within you. And though I am usually not a benevolent God in these games, since this is for charity, I will be. You start to fall unconscious as that purple orb wraps around you once more and rewinds you. And I will let you roll one more time to see what happens.
I don't know if I can escape fate. It's a 6.
It's a 6. I can only save you once, unless we hit $100, because then the world can shift again. You fall unconscious. You clear 1 strain. And the GM, me, will describe the desperate scene you find yourself in when you awake. Everything goes black as you fall unconscious from this fight. The script is dead, and everything is how it was supposed to happen. But you did not die. And when you awake, you feel different. When you awake, you feel stronger. Which is odd. For when 1 disappears, there is an unbalance. When 2 disappear, there is a further unbalance. The way that this world chose to balance itself was to bring on someone new, someone vengeful, someone who loved so hard that they were able to avenge the person that was most important to them. Darialis, in the end of your story, what is your epitaph as you become the god of vengeance and love.
I think Darialis's mortal past fades away. Whoever would have remembered him, whatever mortals might have known of him, have long passed away anyways. But his connection with ink causes whatever written references of him were available on Valdara to change, so that he was always a god, always vengeful, always loving and respectful. But against those who break the rules, he enacts what he refers to as justice. Whether or not it actually is for someone else to decide, I suppose. But Darialis does what they need, what they believe they need to. I think Darialis is also remembered for working together with the unknown to teach mortals magic once more through their love of mortal kind and their wish that they have defenses against the hunt. Because Darialis hunts mortals, those who break the rules, those who deserve it in their eyes.
And as the hunts begin again, the one thing your teacher wanted to end, I think a full circle is the perfect way to end this story and this chronicle on Valdara. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll see Valdara again. But for right now, it has 4 truths. The unknown has let 2 mortals see them. The herald has something that they shouldn't. The ever-known has and always will be. And the hunts will never end for those that are unjust. Thank you for joining us this early morning, late night time zone for this stream of The Edge of Valor, a Godkiller one-shot for the 27-hour charity TRPG charity raid train for Doctors Without Borders. Thank you so much for helping us raise $65 towards the goal. I think we're almost halfway to the actual goal of the entire project. We are going to do our outros real quick, and we will raid over to Mics and Mimics for the next game that is happening in our raid train. So I will start with me. I am Derek. I have been your GM. I will always be your well, no, I won't always be your GM when I'm here, because sometimes other people come on and GM for me. But you can find me out on the interwebs at Derek Does RP. That's DERRYKDOESRP, or roleplay. I'm not spelling it for you. We play TTRPGs. You should know how to spell roleplay. Or you can find me here on Queers and Spears. Just warning, come July, we might be under a new name. We're still figuring it out.
Cool.
It'll be our 4-year anniversary in July, so we're trying to make some changes to do some fun stuff. You can find me a lot of other places. I'll be in a new game soon that I can't announce yet because I just got casted in it, but check out my socials for that. And I'm going to pass it over to my lovely Godkiller, who I appreciate so much for doing this with me because it was at such a wild time for us to do it. But I had a great time with you, and tell the people where they can find you.
Not so wild for me. I mean, a little unusual. 8:30 a.m. Because I'm based in Germany. Hi everyone. I'm Krifu Bernal. My pronouns are he/him. Yeah, I'm a queer German American based in Germany, where I run a podcast called the Tumble Through Podcast, and I GM Twilight's Edge, our main campaign. We have new episodes every Tuesday, and we are also a part of the Streamathon today. So in 3 hours, in 3 hours, we'll be live on the Tumble Through Podcast Twitch page. After Mics and Mimics, where we'll be playing a Starfinder adventure called Horizon's Edge. We're taking our Pathfinder characters and putting them into the future in Starfinder in a little parallel universe. So it's guaranteed to be a really good action-packed time. And we have a lot of great donation rewards there as well to affect the flow of the game. So hopefully we'll see you there. And I want to thank everyone for watching and my fellow cast members for donating today to this stream.
Yes. Thank you all. And I promise you, this will not be the last time you see Valdara. This will not be the last time you see Krifu here on Queers and Spears, because he was wonderful, and I'm going to have him back, whether as a cast member or a guest. So we will be raiding out to Mics and Mimics for the wonderful next game that they're playing, which is Legends in the Mist, which is such a fun game because I play it and another AP that I'm in. So we'll see you over there. Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.